talking about the savings aspect, I like to be able to say one of the secrets to success is to be able to pay yourself first. And the number one challenge that I hear from not only kids, but from adults is that I have nothing to be able to save to pay myself first. The bottom line is that they're hearing this as teenagers, and they're going to be young adults, and that are going to be adults, and if they go through the whole life and say, I'm going to save when I have money, that day may never come. May never come. So I tell them these stories, and what I just did is I painted a picture of what will happen if you don't do this. So I just kind of applied some of the things that I'm talking about over here. And then what I'll do is I'll talk about that you should be able to save 10%, and you can't save 10%. Maybe you're living beyond your means. Maybe it's you think you don't have money, but you're not paying yourself first, so you don't have any money. So I talk about saving money, and then I talk about 3 buckets, because it's a story, it's a visual. I talk, and I instead of saying 3 containers, that's too generic, I'll say a cup, because they can picture a cup. Then I'll say a bucket, because they can picture a bucket. And then I'll say this pool. You've seen those ones that are inflatable and you have to blow. So they have a picture of a pool. And I talk about how you're able to save your money and which one has to be filled. And I talk about a watering can. How if you had 10% of your money, you're able to fill these buckets. Which one do you fill first? What percentage? Well, I tell them it's kind of like an even amount, going from left to right. Your cup, your bucket to the pool, and go from left to right. Eventually, what will happen to this first cup?
The cup will fill up first.
The cup will fill up first. And they're going to answer, and they get a piece of candy. Positive reinforcement right there.
We like Smarties or gold coins.
Opposed to...
Not dum-dums.
Thank you. That's counterproductive. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll give them, we'll talk about that. And once get filled, then you take to the watering can, you'll water it to the next one. Okay, but then what happens is somebody's going to take over there and take a sip out of that cup. And what happens with that is that, what is that sip of the cup? You know, you got situations that break down. You know, you got, maybe you need a new cell phone, or you need a new car, or whatever the case may be, clothes, okay? And then you have to water it back and forth. But the key is that you have to save first, pay yourself first, and start from left to right. And once it fills up, then you go at the middle. But you notice the last one is always getting filled just a little bit. Now, if you do that, you're going to be in a position where you're going to be able to retire. Because I asked these kids to do a complex math equation. And I quiz them on this, okay? So it's very important. I says, okay, if you have 0 saved, how much are you going to have at retirement? And if you have 0 at retirement, what type of food are you going to be eating at retirement?
Oof.
What kind of house or box are you going to be living in?
Right.
Or whose house are you going to live in?
Yeah.
And then I paint that picture for them, okay? So I want them to be able to say, listen, Social Security, pensions, and personal savings are the 3 ways that are going to predominantly get you to retirement, okay? What are your thoughts on Social Security? They might not even know, but we talk about that. What's your thoughts on pensions?
They don't even know what that is.
But they do know what personal savings is. So
and that's the part they have control over.